sis, you are not behind. Sis, I need you to surrender your timeline. I need you to put it on a ledge, throw it off. You cannot rush God. A man's heart plans his way, but God directs his steps. When I was a kid, I wanted to climb the corporate ladder. I wanted to be married by 25. I wanted to have my first kid at 27. I wanted to have 4 kids, and I wanted to be a lawyer. Today, I actually have no desire to climb the corporate ladder. I am not a lawyer. I got married at 32. I had my first kid at 35, and I do not have 4 kids. God's plan was better than my plan. Not only did God give me a different timeline, he also gave me different desires, especially as I surrendered to him. If you are stressed right now because you feel you are not where you are supposed to be, you feel you are behind, you feel like life is not going the way you planned, I want you to know that you are exactly where God wants you to be. And it's time to surrender that timeline that's holding you back. God's will for your life is better than any story that you could create on your own. Trust me. Maybe you're thinking, I should have left my parents' house by now. I still live at home with my parents. Or I should be a CEO. Or I should have started that YouTube channel. Or I should be rich. Or I should be married and have like 5 kids. I want you to know that comparison will always make you feel like you are behind, even when you are exactly on time with God. And the crazy thing is social media will distort your perception. It will make you think that you're behind because you're looking at what everybody else is doing. Mind you, you don't even know what's really going on behind the scenes for these people. Social media will make you think like, oh, that person's life is easier. That person's life is more grand. That person's life, everything is going faster. This, that, and the third. That person has everything all together. And a lot of times it's not even that your life is bad. It just looks quiet compared to everybody else around you. Sometimes what feels like waiting is preparation. God is more concerned with who you are becoming. Like sometimes it's just that we're not ready for what it is that God has for us. Sometimes we have to like emotionally mature. Sometimes we have to grow in our relationship with Christ. Maybe we need more character development, spiritual growth. And when I think of like marriage, for example, that's just one example. It's really better to not rush something like that. It's really good to have a good foundation for marriage. Before I got married, I literally did premarital counseling and then did marital counseling. There was preparation. I also went to therapy before that, not specifically for marriage, but I went to therapy to get myself healed and deal with trauma that I had dealt with that was causing me to be insecure. And, something that I have noticed is that God sometimes changes your desires before he will change the actual circumstance. Being behind is oftentimes just redirection or protection, or it's just not the right time, or God got something better for you, or actually you're not even in the right direction and God's trying to pivot you into the right direction, or he wants you to slow down and pause because he's like, not yet. I don't think so. Or he's like, not at all. That's not for you at all. Like, we don't know the full plans, but we just know that his plan is better than ours. A Bible story that I want to share that talks about literally surrendering. What happens if you don't surrender your timeline is the story of Abraham and Sarah. So for those of you who may not know that story, there was a couple in the Bible named Abraham and Sarah, and God made them a promise that they would have a child together, even though they were already super old. Okay. And they hadn't been able to have children for many, many years. At first they believed the promise, but as time kept passing and nothing was changing, they were really struggling to believe that it would come to pass. And eventually they tried to take control of the situation. And instead of waiting on the promise, Sarah suggested Abraham have a child with another woman so they could help God's promise happen faster. God don't need your help. God don't need your help. I just want to make that clear. And Abraham agreed, and he had a son named Ishmael through that decision. That choice led to so many complications and tension in that family. And it wasn't the child that God had originally promised them. How many times have you been like, you taking too long, and you just go and you make a decision and you get something that's not even close to what it was that God even told you he was going to give you? I have experienced this, okay? So I can relate to this. But as more time passed in the story, God did eventually give Sarah and Abraham the son that he said he was going to give them, Isaac. And so the point of that Bible story is that when you try to force something, the timing, it can cause unnecessary pain and suffering. So surrender that timeline that you think you have to follow so closely. It's okay to make plans, but listen, God is the one directing your steps, and I don't want you to forget this. I want to share 2 verses to encourage you today. Isaiah 55, 8-9. My thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, declares the Lord. You don't know God's thoughts, okay? You don't know his plan. They are not the same as ours, but that's okay because he's our creator, and whatever he has designed is going to be light years better than whatever it is that we have planned for our life. And so we just have to trust him with that timeline because he is literally the creator of time. In Ecclesiastes 3:11, he has made everything beautiful in its time. There's a time for everything, okay? And God is doing a work in your life, and it may not seem like it. It could feel like, what? Why not me? Why not me? Stop looking at other people. Stop looking out and thinking, oh my gosh, I need to be where they are. You don't know what they're going through. You don't know what comes with the level that they're at, right? Like, focus on God. Focus on God, and he will make your path straight, okay? If you feel like you're late and that so many other people are ahead of you, I want you to let go of that pressure. I had to do this for myself. It was so hard, but it took like a straight up renewing of the mind, honestly. Sis, you are not behind. You are being led.